The real story of Aileen Wuornos is far more complicated than the simple label of monster. She was a woman shaped by horror before she ever inflicted it. To understand the killer, we must look at the child. Born in Michigan in 1956, Aileen's life began in a cycle of severe abuse and total abandonment. Her father, Leo Dale Pittman, was a convicted child molester who eventually took his own life in prison. Then, her mother abandoned Aileen and her brother, leaving them to be raised by grandparents in a home that offered no refuge. Reports from those who knew her paint a grim picture: physical abuse, sexual trauma, and total isolation. By her teens, she was reportedly living in the woods, surviving through sex work, theft, and sheer desperation. She endured homelessness, bullying, and a teen pregnancy, her baby reportedly put up for adoption before she was even an adult. In the late 1980s, Aileen moved her life to the road, working as a sex worker along the lonely Florida highways. It was here she met Tyria Moore. The two became romantically involved, fueled by a shared sense of being outcasts. But between 1989 and 1990, the road turned deadly. 7 men were found murdered across the state. The victims included Richard Mallory, David Spears, and Charles Carskadden. The pattern was beginning to emerge. Followed by Peter Seams, Troy Burris, Charles Humphreys, and Walter Antonio. 7 lives taken in a single year. Aileen didn't just kill, she robbed many of her victims, taking what they had before disappearing back into the night. When confronted, her defense was singular: self-defense. She claimed her first victim, Richard Mallory, had brutally raped her. Investigators later found that Mallory did have a history involving sexual violence, fueling a debate that lasts to this day. However, prosecutors saw it differently. They argued the repeated killings showed a calculated pattern of robbery and murder. Police tracked her through pawned belongings and witness statements, slowly closing the net around the woman on the highway. In the end, it was Tyria who helped them. She recorded phone calls that would eventually lead to a full confession. In 1991, Aileen Wuornos confessed to the killings. The highway killer was finally in custody. The trial was a media sensation. She was convicted and sentenced to death for her crimes. She received multiple death sentences, her fate sealed by the very system she claimed had failed her. As execution neared, her mental state crumbled. She made bizarre claims of torture and conspiracies within the prison walls. In 2002, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection in Florida, ending her journey on the road. Even after her death, the debate rages. Was she a cold-blooded killer or a survivor pushed to the brink? The film Monster brought her story back to the public, forcing a confrontation with the uncomfortable truth. The truth is likely both. She was a person who endured horrifying trauma and someone who took multiple lives. Her story forces us to ask, can someone be both the broken child and the monster they became? That is why her case remains one of America's most disturbing. It is a story with no easy answers. The complexity of Aileen Wuornos, a forensic noir investigation.